Woo-wee, it is finally Friday. I'm not talking 5 o'clock somewhere. It is finally Friday. And if you can see what's on the screen, someone cannot go missing without someone knowing something somewhere. Well, this case proves it, because everything that Tanner said to the Texas Rangers, FBI listening in, was a total lie. This was 100% a setup for him to find a child. It is absolutely ridiculous. Ridiculous behavior, I say. Perverted, demonic, and you name it. Now, I'm covering the trial bit by bit because it's a lot to take in. Hello, Sister Karen. Hello, Tea Time Sleuth. Can someone drop the link for our memberships, please? Because I see a couple of people do not have memberships that normally have them. And Stacy is in here. You must be kidding me, Stacy. Today is her birthday. Can everyone please tell Stacy happy birthday?
It's your birthday today. It's your birthday today. There's a cat licking your birthday cake. It's your birthday today. It's your birthday today. It's your birthday today. There's a cat licking your birthday cake. It's your birthday today.
Happy birthday, Stacy. Look, Jules just came in. Ilyanka said happy birthday. I got an email from Ilyanka, and it took me a while to figure out who it was from. And I was like, oh, now I know who it's from. And I will reply to it very, very soon. I just had to put 2 and 2 together, and sometimes that takes your old Buddy Brooks a little bit longer. Stacy said, no, mine is in July. So you're going to wind up being like Kimberly Mann, who we like celebrated her birthday like every month. I think Susan had 2 birthdays in 1 month. It was insane. Well, let's take a second and tell everyone good morning. The evidence that was presented yesterday is disgusting. There is no more I accidentally hit her with the truck, and I was scared she would tell her dad. Question number 1, how do you know she has a dad? How much do you know about this family? Why did you target Athena? This could be a babysitter's house. This could be a single mother. This could be someone that's having a play date, and you just happen to come across her. It's demonic. And him trying to pull the crazy train isn't going to work. Let me explain why. And it's not my education that's going to explain it. It's what they're doing in Texas. He's already been evaluated by 3 court-appointed psychiatrists. And they all said, yeah, he's good to go. No one believes that he has this alter ego named Mr. Zero that was out to kill Athena, and that Mr. Zero or Zero made him do it. No. Do you all remember the Cash Gernon case? 3 psychiatrists evaluated DB, the one that killed Cash Gernon, And they said, no, he's not fit to stand trial. No, we have a playlist on Cash Gurdon. Okay, they all said no. Once he got healthy enough to go to trial, he did, and he pled guilty. This dude doesn't have a snowball's chance in Cuba. Who got the membership? If you got a Crime Lines and Laws membership, thank your friend Tina. And look at that. My girl Tea Time is back. You guys are absolutely wonderful. Let's take a second and tell everyone good morning. And buckle up, because this evidence is horrible. Okay, so presented to the court yesterday. Remember, we're on the sentencing phase. There really wasn't technically a trial because he pled guilty to capital murder. I did get a very, very rude comment from someone saying, why are you talking about this and exploiting this child? He already pled guilty. Because I want to see him get death. Death. Every state does things different. You see, Oklahoma does it different than Florida. Oklahoma does it different than Missouri. He pled guilty to capital murder. Sure, they could have put down the gavel and say, okay, life without parole. Go on. See you later. Bye-bye now. But no, this prosecutor and the heinous nature of this crime, they want him put to death. And for people, not naming any names, I'm stopped up, that say, oh, that'll take like 20, 30 years, Brooks. I don't give a shit. I don't care. We just know he'll never be back in society. But this new spin, him saying Zero made him do it, is ridiculous. Zero was laughing when Athena was grabbed. Zero was laughing when she was stripped naked. Zero was laughing when she was raped.
Are you saying stripped her naked and started close out the window on the highway? Is that what you're saying?
That was funny.
You thought it was funny? You take all her clothes off of her? Shirt, pants, panties, everything? So the only thing she was wearing when she went in the water was her panties? Hey, Zero, when you took her, was she wearing a jacket or anything? No jacket, no shoes?
No jacket, no shoes.
So she's wearing little pants and a shirt. Are you saying you stripped her naked?
Okay, so right here, obviously it's Tanner, but they're talking to Zero, his alter personality. Listen to it again. Zero was the one that thought it was funny. Okay? I am not qualified for this.
Are you saying you stripped her naked and started close out the window on the highway? Is that what you're saying?
That was funny.
You thought it was funny? You take all her clothes off of her? Shirt, pants, panties, everything? So the only thing she was wearing when she went in the water was her panties? Hey, Zero, when you took her, was she wearing a jacket or anything? No jacket, no shoes?
No jacket, no shoes.
So she's wearing little pants and a shirt. Are you saying you stripped her naked?
I think we got the point. He's saying that his divided personality did it. That he's got someone that lives in his head named Zero. Okay, well, at some point, Tanner had to show up. And this will be a shorter show because it's a lot to go through, a lot to absorb. Look at the evidence. Look at the evidence. Where her clothes were found and how her body was found. And let's please not forget what the prosecutor said. This little girl had DNA of his in places that it shouldn't be. Okay? Shouldn't be.
Previous objections remain overruled in States Exhibits 53 through 82.
Oh, he doesn't have his ear gauges anymore. Look at that. Yeah, those earlobes never grow back together, do they, buddy? Nope. When you do that to the cartilage, look at you. Look at you. And he studied and like looking at what he did. I can't even tell you the nasty shit this man did.
Thank you, Judge. And may we publish?
Yes.
All right. We're talking about how one of the first things you do is do a walkthrough, and then you do, I guess, what we call initial photos.
We call them entry photos.
Entry photos? Okay. Is that what these photos that we're going to be looking at are?
Correct. Yeah, this would have been probably the first photo that was taken because our first photo tries to incorporate a house number as well as the front door of the house, which this photo does.
And so in this photo, does it have, I guess, the address in the photo?
It does here on the mailbox post, 7628.
So he had evidence at his own house. Okay? Ooh, plead the fifth. Said, my stomach is in knots. This guy is one sick puppy. You are correct. You are correct. We all knew that the story that he accidentally ran her over and picked her up because he was afraid she would tell her dad made zero sense. But now that we know his alter ego's name is Zero, that tells him how to commit these pedophilic behaviors, the ones people on YouTube take up for, we know the truth. And let me tell you what, there's more of them than there are of us. All right? Way more people in this society that think this shit is okay.
So this next photo, what are we looking at here?
What exhibit number are we looking at?
This is,
We're at 50.
Be sure to identify them by exhibit number.
So this would be 54.
Okay.
I'm showing you what is marked as States Exhibit 54.
So that's the front of the residence.
And now I'm showing you what is marked as States Exhibit 55. Is that just kind of a slightly different angle of the residence?
Yes. Yeah, we try to take all sides of the residence.
Tina said, in my opinion, he's reliving the crime and liking it. He must have liked something because he had a hard on and some pre-cum in the front of his pants yesterday, watching all of this, watching his crime. All right. I can show you the picture if you want, but I'm sure you can visualize it.
That's before we enter.
Okay. This is State's Exhibit 56. What am I looking at now?
So this is, if you were looking at the house, the right side of the house, and then the shed over to the right side of the photograph is the shed where the defendant was, I assume, living. There's a bed in there, and that's where his clothes were.
In State's Exhibit 57, what are we seeing in this?
So now on the left side of that photograph is the same shed where the defendant was living. And then the building on the right was just kind of like a storage building. And then if you walk in between those buildings and around the back of that shed on the left is where we noted the child's clothing.
So State's Exhibit 58, it looks like this is a closer up view to that shed. Are we seeing anything else in here?
I mean, there's items, trash, looks like recent trash outside the item. There's a guitar that may or may not have worked, but yeah, it's just kind of the front on view of that.
That place is a trash pit. Okay. I don't even call them trash pits. I call them fire hazards. Because in Oklahoma, when you have a bunch of shit around and the wind comes sweeping down the plains, it'll catch your shit on fire. Texas is not that much different.
Shed.
And State's Exhibit 59?
Similar, just a closer up version of that.
And is it standard to kind of take kind of further out and then kind of go closer in photos, or how do y'all normally do that?
Yeah, for evidence, absolutely. But even for our entry photos, if we decide sometimes when there's a lot going on, meaning there's a lot of items in there, then we'll kind of approach that scene. It's the photographer's training to make their photography look as if you're walking up to a door that you're going to then go in and search. And so, yeah, different angles is pretty common.
This is State's Exhibit 60. This is just a slightly different angle.
Yeah. Yeah, I think noting, so lots of times we want to use even our entry photos can also show evidence in place. So with the bed being there.
Cat lady, you're in here. Do you want to come up and say something? Because you've been through a similar crime. I'm not going to say what happened to you, or, I mean, especially to your child. But, you're more than welcome to. You are more than welcome to. I believe parents that have been through something like this get strength from other parents that have been through something like that.
Our photographer would have tried to get as much as she could have on that bed without actually walking in.
I'm showing State's Exhibit 61.
Same thing. So she just approached the door a little bit closer, took another photograph.
And State's Exhibit 62.
Similar. So she probably stepped, just a little bit into the shed, and
So she's kind of right at the door frame now.
yeah.
Okay. All right, now State's Exhibit 63. What are we looking at here?
So this just would have been another angle within the shed. It's still the shed where that bed is that you saw before.
Is this kind of more the left side of the shed compared
Correct.
to the
Yeah, as you
this
walk
on
in the
right?
door to the left. And as I said, these are entry photos. So this is the condition of it as we found it. And just by looking at it, it was already in that kind of disarray when we found it.
So this disarray was not done by your search.
No, this is before we've done any searching.
And States Exhibit 64.
Same, just getting our training for entry photos typically teaches us to take a photo from each corner of the room. Because of the amount of stuff that was in here, we couldn't do that without completely moving everything, which we weren't prepared to do at that time. We needed to get our in-place photos. So I remember having this conversation with the photographer that let's just get from the center of the room, let's just get pictures panning around.
Okay. And States Exhibit 65.
So similar, now she's looking back at that front door. So she's doing that kind of 360 look as she pans around.
In States Exhibit 66.
Same thing. Now she's turned.
I agree with Mirvi. No one is entering in there. There's too much trash. There's too much clutter. I will never understand people that want so much shit that they can't walk through it. It's crazy.
To look at the bed and take that entry photo.
Now, was there any floor space for you to walk on, or?
Very little. Yeah, there was a lot of trash, dirty clothes, some kids' toys, just other items that were kind of just all over the place. Yeah.
Now, States Exhibit 6.
So just noting the items on the shelf here. I think she would have just, like we said, we don't know what's evidence at that point when we're doing our entry photos. So when we see a shelf like that, she would have easily recognized that as maybe a place something could be. So she wants to get it in place, picture of it. And, in this case, there's some children's toys, there's, Tide Pods and just other stuff on the shelf. I believe there's a game console up there.
Okay, laundry pods, a game console, which looks old to me, and children's toys. Oh my Lord.
So she might have been trying to get that in there as well. If you can see at the top shelf, that white box is the game console.
Is that a pizza box?
On the floor?
Uh-huh.
Yes, yeah.
And looks like we're moving back outside. Talking about.
Oh, hang on. Memphis 3640. Whose room is this? I don't know who slept in the room. I do know that they were investigating Tanner's home, and that's where they found not Athena, but other articles of her clothing.
At the inside of the shed, was there any type of smell?
From what I remember, yeah, it smelled like kind of old garbage, like you hadn't taken out your garbage in days, and probably a mixture of dirty clothes as well. It smelled pretty bad.
All right, I'm going to show you States Exhibit 68. So slightly different angle. So what are we looking at here?
So this is, now that she has gotten the photos of the inside of the shed, she's going to work her way around the outside before we start doing any evidence collection. So that's part of this process, is taking another photo of that angle as she's moving down that area between the the two buildings. And I would have been right with her as the walkthrough. We would be behind her and she would be taking pictures and then we'd walk and picture and then walk.
And States Exhibit 69.
Same thing, just continuing that walk. You can see we're getting closer to that trash can if you look back at the other picture.
Now we're looking at States Exhibit 70. Now orientate us between those two. Are we between those two buildings? Where are we at now?
So now we're kind of over behind the shed.
Okay.
In that building. And this is the area where the ranger said they thought they saw some children's clothes, specifically a little girl's clothes.
Yes, we know the difference between children's clothes and adult clothes. And we know the difference between little boys' clothes and little girls' clothes. Okay? Oh, who's bothering me? I'm busy. So when the Texas Rangers started sorting through this mess, they knew. They knew.
So we kind of keyed on that and wanted to get a picture of it before we walked back there and started messing with anything. But it's really hard on the screen, but you can almost see dead center, a little bit bottom of center. There is what looks to be like a little sock. Yeah. So that's the first thing that we noted that from what we knew of the victim seemed to match.
And is there also, it looks like maybe a cigarette package there to the left?
Yeah, it could be. There was a lot of garbage just buried in there too. I think at one point they were it seemed like whether it was the defendant or other people who lived on the property were just kind of dumping trash there.
All right, and this is States Exhibit 71. And what am I looking at here?
So kind of that, you can see down in the bottom of this picture, what's labeled number 1 from our evidence tent is that sock that I initially mentioned. And then as you got closer to that sock, you kind of looked around that other building. You could see, if you move up to number 2, that's looks to be child's underwear, from that distance. And then if you move on to where number 3 is over there.
Her underwear was left by a beer can.
Is that sock that I initially mentioned.
It's right there on the screen. It's amazing they could pick anything out. I'm assuming they had some help from some dogs, because at this point they knew Athena's scent. Not the officers, but the dogs.
And then as you got closer to that sock, you kind of looked around that other building. You could see, if you move up to number 2, that's looks to be child's underwear.
Mm-hmm. You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. You just threw her underwear out? I mean, what am I asking? We know everything else he did. He pled guilty to it. Capital murder. Capital murder. Okay? And now it's up to a jury of his peers to decide if he's going to get LWOP or death. And don't forget, we have an entire playlist on Athena. If you want to go to the beginning and see how everything's unfolded, have at it.
From that distance. And then if you move on to where number 3 is, over there, just to the right of the number 3 are small in size, looks like little girls' blue jeans.
And so kind of for orientation purposes, can you see that count? So where we originally saw the sock, kind of the front part of that trash pile, now we're seeing those clothes are kind of just all in line, the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, kind of around that other outbuilding that's next to the shed.
And it looks like there's a little tent there. Can you explain
Sure.
what that is and why y'all do that?
So
This is State's Exhibit.
State's Exhibit 72.
Okay.
Sorry, Judge.
So our procedures where we collect evidence is we take an in-place photograph. So that would have been that first one you saw that didn't have any label on it. And then we take a medium shot of it. So that would have been the one where you saw all 3 evidence tents. And then we do a close-up in place as well. And so since this will be item number 1, the tent suggests that it's item number 1. And it's the close-up of the item in place where we found it.
State's Exhibit 73. And so what are we looking at here?
So that's that sock, item number 1. You can see it written there on the butcher paper. This is that brown paper that I was referring to earlier. So we always take a close-up with scale as our next photo. So we have the scale there, and then we have the photograph to show size. And then this item after this picture would have been packaged up with that brown paper into a paper evidence bag.
Okay. And so what is the sock is laying on that butcher paper you spoke about earlier?
Correct.
And you can go next.
Yeah, once we identify it and take our pictures close up, we can then move it from that location.
So once y'all do that, you scale it, and you put, I think it's that number 1. Why do you write that number 1 on there?
Just so in the photograph, we can remember which one it is in case there's multiple items that are similar in style or nature.
Is that number 1 also?
Hey, Dee, we'll catch you up. Dee said, hey, everyone, should I rewind? Not sure how long you've been live. They're going through the evidence that they found relating to Athena Strand. And it's horrid. It's horrid. Trust me, you'll catch up.
How
This is her sock.
y'all label your evidence log?
Yes, in this case it is, yeah.
And you're on average.
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 83. And do you recognize this item?
I do. Yeah, this is our packaging and our labeling style. And this would have been one of our evidence items, number 1.
And what was in evidence item number 1?
It's listed here, child's light blue multicolored sock found behind shed on ground.
And is that the same piece of evidence that we're looking at here on State's Exhibit 73?
It appears to be, yes.
And are there any other identifying marks on this bag?
Yeah, we have 7 items that we put on all of our evidence bags. So we have the item number, we have the date, we have a case number, an FBI case number. We put the address, and then we have 2 initials. The initials are the collector and the assistant.
And is that bag still sealed?
It is sealed with evidence tape, yes.
And are there any marks on this bag that are not yours?
So the Wise County Sheriff's Office sticker, that would have been possibly for their evidence folks. And then these 2 labels might be lots of times the lab that it's taken to will put their own markings on it. So it could be from that. We don't, with the FBI ERT, we don't process any evidence. We're collectors. and it goes to the official either FBI lab or state crime lab for processing.
So you collected this item, but then it will go off to a lab to be processed for
Examined, yeah.
DNA or anything else that
Sure.
needs to be looked at.
Yeah, in this case, it would most likely be DNA. Sometimes it's fingerprints. Sometimes it's computer forensics.
Hopefully not computer forensics.
No.
And Your Honor, at this time, the state offers into evidence State's Exhibit 83.
No additional testimony.
All right, State's Exhibit 83, they are overruled, and State's Exhibit 83 is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Now I'm showing you what has been admitted as State's Exhibit 74 here on the screen. And what are we looking at here?
So in the previous picture where you saw all 3, 1, 2, 3 items, this would be the second item in that row, which appears to be a child's underwear. Looks to be female underwear.
Little girl, a little 7-year-old girl that was playing in her yard. Did she get irritated with her teacher that day? She did. Did she get irritated with her stepmother when her stepmother asked her, what is this note about? She did. That does not mean, regardless of what some people say, that she voluntarily went with him. He grabbed her. He has her clothing in his yard. His DNA is in places on her little tiny body that should never be there. He has been planning this for years, but I'm going to say right now, she is not the first one. I think he's tried and tried and tried and tried, and that's the reason he got the delivery driver job, because he was scouting out houses with children. That's what he was doing. He specifically asked for the toy route. Why do you only want, you got something against blenders, dude? You've got something against power saws, men's shirts, cologne?
Now I'm showing you what has been admitted as State's Exhibit 75. And what are we looking at here?
So this would have been a picture close up with scale of those underwear after they were removed from the location that they were originally found, as per our standard procedures to take those scale photographs on that same butcher paper like I was talking about.
And is there a number listed on that butcher paper?
There is number 2.
And did that correspond with the yellow tint that y'all had next to the item?
It does.
And Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I am showing you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 84. And do you recognize this item?
Thank you so much, Mrs. Mama, for the super sticker. This is so evil and sad. Justice for Athena. Well, she's going to get her justice either way. The jury just has to decide his sentencing, and that's the reason they're going through every nook and cranny And personally, I want him to have the death penalty. Then it is solidified. He will never be in society again. Now, I'm not going to lie. Life without parole in Texas is pretty much the same thing. They just die in jail. But him having the fear of death every day, ooh, works for me.
I do. Yeah, this is our, once again, our packaging, our labeling system, and it says item 2, and it's child's white Hanes underwear found behind shed on ground. So it would have matched the description of what we're seeing in the photograph.
And other than the lab processing, is it sealed? Is there any?
So once again, there's a Wise County Sheriff's Office sticker on there. We wouldn't have put that. That would be Wise County that would put that. And then a couple other markers that look like could have been from a state lab or something that would be used for their processing.
Other than that, has it been altered in any way to your knowledge?
No, it looks like it might have been opened and resealed by the lab. But other than that, no.
Your Honor, at this time, the state offers into evidence State Exhibit 84.
Thank you, Plead the Fifth. Plead the Fifth said, I used to deliver for Amazon and our routes were already pre-made by time. OMG. Why did he, through a subcontractor, say he would only deliver toys? Why? And thank you, Sister Karen, for the super sticker.
Same objections to Mr. Gold?
Yes, sir.
All right, those are overruled. States 84 is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. Now I'm showing you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 76. What are we looking at here?
So in those
Just doing a podcast.
3 items out behind the shed, this would have been the third one in that order. It appears to be a pair of small blue jeans. At the angle we're at, everything, it kind of fits the description, but we're not sure. But we went ahead and labeled it item number 3, took photos of it in place so that we can then remove it and better examine it.
And you said fits the description. At this point, was there a description? Did you have a description of what the Athena Strand was wearing when she was kidnapped?
I believe we did. It was a pair of jeans with some flowers on it. We didn't have a picture or an exact knowledge, but it was blue jeans with a flower pattern on it.
And what are we looking at here?
So as with the other photographs, we would.
That's exactly the testimony that her stepmother gave about when she saw this picture right here. That's what she had on. Now, what are the chances that those same clothes are found in Tanner's backyard? You must be kidding me. But remember, 0 made him do it. Okay?
Would have removed it from that area to better examine it, get it out somewhere where we can spread it out on the brown paper, the clean brown paper. And I just want to reiterate, the brown paper gets wrapped up with each item. So it's a new piece of brown paper each time we take this photograph.
And just to be clear for the record, this is State's Exhibit 77 that we're looking at right now.
And it's labeled item number 3 on the paper. It has scale, so we can add size to it. And this would have been obviously the back side of the blue jeans.
I'm causing confusion. I'm not saying that Amazon tells people what's in a package specifically. I'm saying he specifically asked for toys. Okay. And like Plead the Fifth said, who has done delivery for Amazon before, that everything is like, that's it. That's what you got. I mean, you're either going to deliver, I mean, to be quite honest, it's really no one's business what's in the package. But he specifically asked for that. And to me, that would be a huge red flag. But who am I?
And I'm showing you now what has been marked as State's Exhibit 78.
So this would be the other side, the front side of the blue jeans. And from this, I told the rangers that were out there, I can't remember exactly which ranger, and they were able to see it and relay that back to the other investigative teams that were either talking to the family or talking with the defendant to see if that's an accurate description of what she was wearing at the time of the abduction. So, and we also know when we saw this, you can see there's something in that leg, the pant leg. So looks like a sock, which it turns out to be a sock.
Now I'm showing you what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 79. And so what are we looking at here?
So these are the blue jeans with the sock removed. We would have packaged these together since they were found inside, since that sock was found in there. So we removed it, photographed it with scale, and then we'll wrap it up into that brown paper.
So one sock was found separately out
Just
in
by
the
itself,
car,
right.
but one sock was still inside her pants.
Inside the pants, yes.
And you're on an average.
Yeah.
Okay, so one sock was found inside of Athena's pants. I think it's safe to say Athena did not do these things herself. Okay? The evidence is clear, crystal clear. He did this, he planned this against a child. I'm not saying it's Athena, but he had a lot of plans in the working.
I'm showing you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 85. Do you recognize this one?
I do. It's our packaging, our labeling system, our item number, and the description of the item is youth denim jeans with flowers on pocket and one light blue multicolored sock and pant leg found behind shed on ground.
And does that also show that it's item number 3?
It does, yes.
Kind of like the packages before, other than the markings and resealing from the lab, has it been altered in any way?
Yeah. Nope, just the additional markings from the lab and the Weiss County Sheriff's Office sticker label.
All right, this time the state offers into evidence State's Exhibit 85.
Same objections, Mr. Gold.
Yes, sir.
Those are overruled and State's Exhibit 85 is admitted.
Thanks, Judge. We're now showing on the screen what's been admitted as State's Exhibit 80. And what are we looking at here?
So this was a FedEx shirt that was found in the shed on the bed. That we did our same procedures of collecting it with scale and identifying the number. So it'll be item number 4.
And it looks like State's Exhibit 81. Is this just the front side of the shirt?
Correct, yes.
And were you given information of why to take this specific item, or?
We were, because at that point we had determined that she was taken in the FedEx van from the defendant wearing his FedEx uniform or clothing.
Well, we saw it. Okay. The clothing, obviously, this is black and white right here, my friends, but the clothing that Athena had on that day was found, and we know what he was wearing.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 86. And do you recognize this item?
Yeah, it's labeled item number 4. Same labeling system that we use, and recognize the initials. Extra large black and purple shirt with FedEx.
Imagine her getting grabbed, V. Oakley. V. Oakley said that is so scary and probably so confusing for her. I don't think she was confused because she's the one that told him she has a dad. See how when they pick up on truth to make a lie? She told him her name and she asked him if he was a kidnapper. We got the picture and he was ignoring her. The video is horrible. The way she was putting things together about what she feared might happen to her, and it did.
Found on bed in shed.
Other than the labeling of the ceiling from the lab, has it been altered in any way?
Nope, just the Wise County label and the marks from the lab.
Your Honor, at this time, the state officer of evidence, State's Exhibit 86.
Same objections, Mr. Gold.
Yes.
Notes are overruled and State's Exhibit 86 is admitted.
Judge. Now I'm showing you what has been admitted as State's Exhibit 82. And what are we looking at here?
So dark colored hoodie. I believe at the time we were told that he might have been wearing a hoodie as well. So we went ahead and collected that as part of the evidence.
And does this also have the number on it?
It does, number 5.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
I'm now showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 87. Do you recognize this item?
I do. It's our labeling process, and it's item number 5. Large tech gear, gray and navy hoodie found on bed in shed with those additional Wise County labeling and lab.
I'm going to have Mr. Berry here. Can you zoom in on?
Yes, there is. The jury has seen it. We haven't. All we know is about the still when she was in the truck. That's all we know right now. I mean, I have a feeling at some point it will be public, but I don't know if I want to see it.
what's it been admitted as State's Exhibit 82? And does that read large tech gear sweatshirt?
Yes,
So does that match the item that's listed in that bag?
it does.
And other than the any type of resealing or labels from the lab, has it been altered in any way?
No.
Your Honor, at this time, the state offers into evidence State's Exhibit 87.
Same objections, Mr. Gold?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, those are overruled. State's Exhibit 87 is admitted.
Thank you, Judge. And Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
So interesting. This is when the defense is going to object to Athena's clothing being found at his house. What are the odds that you, OJ, please, OJ, you're doing so good at your game. Thank you, OJ. What are the odds that a child is missing in your area, on your route, and her clothes are found? Well, he's going to explain it to you. Let me show you, my friends. He said it was his alter ego, Zero.
We hear up above going at that time.
That was BPS aircraft, a helicopter that I had initially requested. My instructions to them were to fly until fuel was low, refill, and keep flying until we found Athena.
And so going back to the end of this video before we started up again, by this point, how long have you been playing along with this Zero charade?
Objection, Your Honor, to that characterization.
Sustained, rephrase your question.
How long have you been playing along with Tanner's story about being Zero?
Going into approximately 6 hours at that point.
All right. But now we've seen, you've recovered Athena's body, right? And we've seen that happen. Why continue to play into that?
It's a matter of
The word play is very interesting because Zero is actually, oh my God, everybody's bothering me. What the hell is going on around here? Okay. Oh my God, I need to turn my phone off. Ah, stop. Got a very important show going on. Tanner was a huge gamer, okay? He actually, according to Reddit, not court documents, tried to make himself look much younger than what he is. Much popular. Very popular kid and very young. All right. So again, I believe 100% this was premeditated and it was started by the internet and he got a job to get a child.
playing along with this game if it means getting Athena home. It's also a common practice in interview. If, as I'm assessing the interview, I know that if I don't play into this game, he could potentially shut down on me. And then the odds of recovering Athena, the window gets smaller. So I have to play into this game. I have to just take the lies he's given me. I have to continue that interview and maintain that rapport because ultimately at the end of the day, it's about finding Athena.
So once you've found her, and we'll see that in this video here, is there an additional video after you go back to the jail and have that short conversation?
Yes, sir.
And when does that occur?
That occurs on that same night. Are you talking about the additional video that's occurring there?
Let me clarify. We have the short video you talked about when you get back from the jail on the 2nd, correct?
Yes, sir.
Was there any additional interview of Tanner Horner after that final interview on the 2nd?
Yes, sir. There was an additional interview with Mr. Horner where he asked to speak to me on December 7th.
And I was going to ask you that, who requested this interview?
The defendant, Mr. Horner, requested it.
Now, at this point, other than telling you where Athena was located now, is there anything else truthful that Tanner Horner has told you?
No, sir.
Now, let me just ask you, up until this point, how many different versions has Tanner Horner told you of how things went down at Athena's residence?
He's given me numerous different versions of how the events of that day transpired.
And up to this point, before we start this video again, how many different versions?
All right, put a 1 in chat if you think Tanner is responsible for the abduction, rape, and murder of Athena Strand, or put a 2 in if you believe Zero did it.
Has Tanner Horner told you up to this point about whether he did or did not remove Athena's clothes?
He's also given me numerous versions of what happened to the clothes, if she was clothed or wasn't clothed.
And then also, how many different versions has Tanner Horner told you up to this point as to where her body's located?
He gave me 2 versions. One was at that bamboo, and obviously when he finally decided to take me to her.
Now, when we watch this this video, you're still talking to this alter ego Zero during this time. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
At some point, do we get Tanner back?
Yes, sir.
Well, how does that happen?
At one point during the course of that interview, after we located Athena's body, he pretends to come out of this psychosis or whatever was going on at the time, and then I get Tanner back for a little bit. And of course, the only time I'm getting the truth is when I'm playing into his game of Zero. So I asked to speak to Zero because I feel like that's the only time I'm getting the truth.
Okay, it's also very important to know that a movie that Tanner had watched a lot was with Richard Gere and Edward Norton, and it's called Primal Fear, where somebody had dual personalities. Okay? Has anyone seen that movie? It's a great movie. He had been watching and watching and watching and watching that movie. And also, he was on all of these different platforms gaming, which, hey, play all the games you want. I don't give a shit if you play Nude Monopoly. I could care less. But it's almost like he had the same script as the movie. And we have said on this channel for so long, these people find a script. They do. It's like there's a playbook for them.
And do you do that?
Yes, sir.
And what happens?
Zero comes back.
So all you got to do is ask.
Yes, sir.
Now, throughout all this, who does Tanner Horner continue to blame for what happened to Athena?
Everybody but himself.
And has that been a consistent thing throughout all of this?
Yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you, when we're doing this, and I'm trying to figure this out here. So when Tanner Horner wants a cigarette, or he's telling you the story about how he wanted to leave her on the scene, who is he then?
I feel like in that time, he's Tanner.
But when you start digging in and asking him what happened to Athena and what's going on, who is he then?
That's going to be Zero.
When he's telling you that he's worried about his kids and wanting to see his child and things of that nature, who's he then?
Tanner.
But when you guys start challenging him regarding some of his inconsistencies, who is he then?
Zero.
And is this a pattern that continues throughout what we're going to see today?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Throughout the course of the interview, that's obviously, like I stated before, something that I acknowledged based on the interview. And it's very strategic for us because, again, we want to maintain that rapport. We don't need him shutting down because we're trying. Now that we've found Athena, we still need to get to the truth. So if getting to the truth is playing this game, I'm willing to play it.
And so let me ask you just a little bit about this interview on December 7th. We're gonna talk to you about it a little more in a minute, but I just want to get an idea here.
So people want to know what movie he had been binging. Hold on, let me put it up for you real quick. I'm not watching the entire movie. Here we go. Here's just a clip. It's called Primal Fear from 1996. Okay. Which makes me feel as old as a dirty toenail.
Father. Even though he made you and your girlfriend perform demeaning sexual acts for his own gratification.
No, you don't understand. There was no other way for him to cast out his own demons. He needed it.
He needed to get off, Aaron. That's what he was doing. That's what he needed you for. To perform like a circus animal. That was your function in his life.
No.
Oh, Mr. Stampler, I'm gonna ask you straight because I am tired. And I've had just about all I can take of this sordidness. And I want to go home and I want to wash my hands and I want to forget all about you and Archbishop Rushman. Did the Archbishop force you and your girlfriend and others to perform sexual acts while he watched, yes or no?
Yes, he did,
Yes, he forced you. He forced you using a threat of expulsion from Save Your House and a life on the street with no heat and no water and no food. He put you in front of a camera. He made you take off your clothes, and you don't think that that's another side? Another face of a man that we all thought that we knew?
No.
Do you know what I would do if someone did that to me? I would kill him. I wouldn't hesitate.
No.
I would stab him 78 times with a butcher knife. I would chop off his fingers. I would slash his throat open. I would carve numbers into his chest. I would gouge out his eyes. I swear to God. But that's me. No further questions, Your Honor.
Where the hell do you think you're going?
Excuse me?
Hey, you look at me when I'm talking to you, bitch. Mrs. Stampler. Fuck you, baby. Come here. Bailiff! Come here, you want to play rough? Let's play rough. Hey, come on. Back off. Hey, back off. Hey, come on. Come on, asshole. You see if I don't break your fucking neck. Come here. Fuck you, Marty. I am walking out of here now slow.
Okay, so he's been studying this movie for a very long time, Primal Fear, okay? And it's a great movie, don't get me wrong, but it's fiction. And as we say on this show all the time, OMG, they study. Now we get to how the evidence was planted, and now he is... Now, he has an alternate personality named Zero.
You said that Town Horner asked for this interview, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you go to the jail on December 7th. and interview him. Is that audio and video recorded as well?
Yes, sir, it is.
And is it in the same room that we saw before yesterday?
Yes, sir, it is.
And during this time, did Tanner Horner tell you what the primary purpose of this interview was with you on December 7th?
The only purpose of that interview, which I quickly learned from speaking to him, was that he wanted to cut a deal.
Judge, go ahead and finish the video.
Yes, go ahead.
He just wanted to cut a deal. Just wanted to cut a deal. I agree, my friend. The end of that movie was wow. Because they found out the person, I'm going to go ahead and do a spoiler alert, that the person that claimed to be schizophrenic was actually acting the entire time. Okay? And he had been studying that movie for a long time, also been gaming with children, acting like he was a young kid, and specifically asked for nothing but toys when he became a subcontractor for FedEx and Amazon.
Get that? Oh. Yeah, okay. I need to do good. You go on my, I'm sorry. Zero. You were talking about it was Hannah talking earlier about trying to break her neck. Did y'all really trying to break her neck? And it didn't work. Was it you trying to break her neck or was it Tanner? Was you? Did you choke her from behind like you said earlier? Did she defecate on herself? Did she struggle? She trying to claw you or anything like that? How's she trying to claw you? Trying to kick you? Did she actually get a kick on you? She's screaming on? Wasn't able to. So about it. Did it end quick? So you talked about a sock being in the truck. Is that her sock? You remember where you tossed that in at? You don't remember, just some random place, for sure?
Tanner tossed the sock.
And I tossed it, I wasn't tossed it when you threw it up.
Hold on. Hey, Zero, very important. What items of her did you take to Tanner's house?
Did you take any of her clothes, or anything to your house, to Tanner's house? You didn't take anything over there?
Okay, so Zero is acting like he doesn't know Tanner and doesn't know where the clothes came from.
She was wearing her clothes? You were throwing the clothes all over the highway? You think maybe Tanner took some home? Are you saying you stripped her naked and throw her clothes out the window on the highway? Is that what you're saying? That was funny. You thought it was funny? You take all her clothes off of her? Shirt, pants, panties, everything?
I love the panties.
Left the panties on?
So did Tanner take any of the clothes home, you think? You don't think so? You think Tanner
He's
took,
not stupid.
you think Tanner took anything home?
He's not stupid.
I think Tanner
Maybe a
had,
little bitch, but he's not stupid.
I think Tanner had said to me earlier that he doesn't shit where he eats. Is that why?
That was me.
That was you? You don't shit where you eat? So you didn't take anything back to Tanner's house? Okay.
So the only thing she's wearing when she went in the water was her panties? How long have we been talking to you, Zero? The whole time? When did you take over?
When he addressed me as such.
So when we were in the building earlier, it was Tanner talking to us?
So if I'd addressed you as Zero from the get-go, you would have talked to me?
Probably, it's only respectful.
I apologize for not referring to you as Zero sooner, but it clicked to me. Tanner, been talking. I need to talk to Zero. Thank you for talking to me. You asked
Okay, does anyone believe that Zero really took over Tanner's body? It actually is possible. But we have 3 psychiatrists that said it's not, that he made it up. I mean, they said, no, he made all this up. He had been planning this for a very long time.
you asked to talk to me. You heard on the board. Do you not remember acknowledging that? You were trying to get me to talk to you the entire time. I just wasn't seeing it until I was there on the side of the road. I saw it. I heard you calling my name. I just wasn't listening. Zero. Just got one more question for you.
So her black pants, blue pants, things are at the house.
Okay.
Yeah. Remember that name?
I don't give a fuck about that.
And in the trash at your house. At your house, in the trash?
It was in the trash.
Just in the trash, okay. Was there anything else there at the house?
Shouldn't be.
You're being truthful.
Hey, Zero, when you took
As truthful as I could. Okay, so who are we talking to? Tanner or Zero? And I really want to know who's buying this. Who is really buying this split personality?
her, was she wearing a jacket or anything? No jacket, no shoes?
A jacket, no shoes.
But she's wearing little pants and a shirt? Was it long sleeve, short sleeve?
I think it was short sleeve.
Maybe it was short sleeve, what color was it?
I don't know.
You don't know?
It was dark.
Did she tell you she didn't want to go with you?
Of course.
What'd you tell her?
We're going on a ride.
She was trying to fight you when you told her you were going on the ride?
No. She did keep asking questions.
What'd you tell her?
Told her no. We're just going on a ride.
Just going on a ride? So did you hit her before you dropped the package? I'm sorry, Tanner.
Somebody obviously was in control because there's a picture of her in the FedEx truck with, at the time, Tanner. Okay? Is everyone following along? Okay?
Hit her before the package was dropped off or after?
I want to talk to them.
No, I want to talk to Zero. I want to talk to you. Because you're being more honest, you're being more helpful. I want to talk to you. Understand?
Project was a quick promotion and I'd be able to send me all night.
I don't want to do that. I mean, I don't want you to die.
He wants to die. I want him to die, but I want to live.
So if he dies, you die. That's not helpful for you. You know what I mean? And you're being helpful for us right now. I really appreciate that. You said it was funny throwing your clothes out on the highway. Which highway did you throw them out on?
114.
114, so before you got out of Wise County? Yeah.
Why'd you take the clothes off here?
It's funny.
A form of humiliation?
She was gonna tell.
See that punishment?
Did she tell you she was going to tell?
Okay. So right here, 0 is talking about past crimes, even though they haven't been proven. Okay. At one point, 0 called himself the Punisher.
And you're being helpful for us right now. I really appreciate that. You said it was funny throwing your clothes out on the highway. Which highway did you throw them out on?
114.
114, so before you got out of Wise County? Yeah.
Why'd you take the clothes off here?
It's funny.
A form of humiliation?
She was gonna tell.
See that punishment?
Did she tell you she was going to tell? She did? When did she tell you she was going to tell?
She said she was gonna tell her dad.
He said Athena said she was going to tell her dad. Okay, that's not the original story. Put a 1 in chat if you think Tanner has a split personality, or a 2 if you think he made all this up with his studying because he's a pedo.
At the house or after y'all left?
At the house.
At the house? I understand. I'd be a little upset too.
0.
Luke or Goose and Jack were dad.
Then I get some jacket.
Okay. Where did you show her?
In the back of the truck.
Okay. And where were you parked at that time?
Private road.
The private road? Okay. And then when were her clothes removed?
Garage.
Okay. And then what?
I drove off.
Okay. And what was done with her, the clothes at that point?
Indeed.
So her clothes were taken off and you're driving down the road and she's not wearing clothing, correct? Am I correct? Okay. And then what? What did you do next?
I had a place to go.
And where was that?
About the creek.
Okay. And then what direction did you go?
And I started heading back to the station. And I let him take back over.
Tanner doesn't remember times. Do you remember about what time it was?
About 6:30. I started heading back, I believe.
If you watch the movie Primal Fear, you will see where he's getting all of this. Because everything was put on said person by Roy, but in the entire time, the person was Roy. Okay? He can call himself whatever he wants. This was signed, sealed, delivered, and planned for years. Pat K. Oh, my grandniece was just born. All okay. Oh, let's have a huge congratulations for Pat K. Everyone, please. Come on, use your buttons. You know how to do it. Come on. That is amazing news. I absolutely love our little family here. I absolutely do. And how we can share information with each other and just have a good day despite the horrible things that are going on.
When did you put her? Remember how the time that was?
A little bit before Saturday.
When did you turn your phone? When did you turn his phone back on?
When I let him take that from me.
Do you remember what time that was? Do you remember being back at FedEx back at his work?
No, I went to sleep.
You went to sleep, so you don't remember?
He went.
You got any questions for me?
Dad,
No. It's not. I want to get to know Zero for a little bit.
why? No one needs to do it.
I do.
Okay, so
You intrigue me, Zero. Does that make sense?
I'll give you a bit of a perspective. Yeah, I guess it does.
Let's get you inside for some water. For sure.
Where that? Permission?
Okay, so as you can tell, that's not a psychiatrist talking to Zero. It's the Texas Rangers, and it looked to me like they had no shits to give about his split personality, if there is one.
No, sir.
Okay, this is very important to note. No one takes mental illness lightly, okay? But when someone lies about it, it's kind of like those bums that go around saying they have cancer and there's not a damn thing wrong with it, okay? Not a damn thing wrong with them. They have benefits, they have chili cook-offs and everything. Please do not pretend to have a damn disease when you don't. He is full of shit. Obviously, I'm not qualified, but I'm telling you right now, 3 psychiatrists have said, no, he didn't have a split personality. They gave him trigger after trigger after trigger after trigger after trigger, and all he did was pretend.
You get this over, share it one of those. Tanner, why are those pants and sock out there in the back shed?
Is Tanner found in the backpack? Tanner found him in his backpack? So Zero put him in Tanner's backpack.
Is anyone offended that the Texas Ranger called Tanner and Zero an asshole? I do understand that's a big part of the defense, that he was treated unfairly. Just asking for a friend, when the Texas Ranger asked, why are you such an asshole? Is anyone offended? Personally, I'm not. I think it's kind of a common question when you're arresting someone that claims to have 2 personalities and has a missing child's clothing on your property.
You put him in Tanner's backpack, and that's how they got to the house? Let's see, Zero. We'll be back, okay?
This is quite a perp walk, and I can tell you right now, oh my goodness, where is Zero? Where did Zero go? Because someone who is truly schizophrenic and has some kind of zero personality in their brain, they go apeshit real quick.
Yes, sir.
Yes, but I was going to show you Market States Exhibit 38. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what's that?
It's going to be the interview from the Wise County Sheriff's Office interview room, which I've initialed.
Okay, so he's sitting there with his knuckle on his face, looking at his crimes. As we know, yesterday he had a hard-on and some pre-cum in his pants, or he pee-peed himself. I don't know. It seems to me he's enjoying every bit of this.
And that initial again means that you've reviewed it, and is that a true and correct copy of that interview?
Yes, sir.
And just to clarify, since we've got several videos here, this is the one that we're gonna see right after where the video just ended, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, the body camera stops and then the interview room camera would take over. So essentially you'll see the transition.
Judge Rudolph states 38.
Any additional objections other than those previously mentioned?
No further objections.
Okay, those objections remain overruled and State's Exhibit 38 is admitted.
So this one's fairly short. Can you publish this? Absolutely.
I should have a tape. I should have a letter.
Where do you shower and go to the bathroom at in your house?
I don't know others
And where's that
on the same property.
at? Okay. What about the bathroom?
What about a bathroom?
Yeah, where do you go to the bathroom at?
My grandmother's.
Okay. So have you told us everything?
Who? What?
Have you told us everything?
Me?
Zero.
Went away.
No. So who's here?
It's me. Like just me.
Okay.
Charlie zero.
It's not zero.
Tanner?
My grandmother's.
Okay. So have you told us everything?
Okay. Why would anyone ask who? Have you told us everything? And the person talking, whether it's Tanner or Zero, says who? Who?
What?
Have you told us everything?
Me?
Zero.
Went away.
No. So So who's here?
It's me. Like, just me.
Okay.
Did you have a 0?
It's not 0.
Tanner,
Yeah.
welcome back. You okay?
I'm a little flabbergasted, I guess.
Why's that? Why's that?
Because I was in the back seat watching everything happen, and I'm kind of freaking out.
Alright. Is there anything Zero didn't tell us that you can remember, or were you in and out?
I mean, I've been in and out the entire time. He hasn't really let me come out at all.
Okay. Since I brought him
He
out?
has like a weird, this is a weird type of respect because you actually, how should I put it, you trust him, which I think is, he's, okay.
Yeah. There's lots of process, Tanner. There's a lot that happened. So, we're gonna step out for just a second, okay? And give you a second to process that, okay? Give us just a minute.
All right. 0 did everything, according to him. 0 bullies him. Either way, it's the same person. What should the penalty be? Life without parole or the death penalty? He's been evaluated by psychiatrists, and they say he is fine to stand trial, hence why he's there, and he pled guilty to capital murder. Okay? He pled guilty. And let's go back to this.
The door closed out the window on the highway? Is that what you're saying? You thought it was funny? You take all the clothes off of her? Shirt, pants, panties, everything? So the only thing she was wearing when she went in the water was her panties? Hey, 0. When you took her, was she wearing a jacket or anything? No jacket, no shoes?
A jacket and shoes.
So she's wearing little pants and a shirt? Are you saying you stripped her naked, the door closed out the window on the highway? Is that what you're saying? You thought it was funny? You take all her clothes off of her? Shirt, pants, panties, everything? So the only thing she was wearing when she went in the water was
Hey, look, either way, either 0 or Tanner did it, and 0 and Tanner need to be in jail to protect the rest of society. Okay? Even in jail, they'll get their medications. Trust me, they will. They will. And when you have 3 qualified people that say, no, there's no schizophrenia here, then what do we do? I'm not praying for a verdict. I already know the verdict. I already know it's going to be one way or the other. What I'm praying for is Athena's family and the jurors to make a decision. I would not want to be on that. I just wouldn't want to. I really wouldn't want to. Never been put in that position. I can speak all day on YouTube and say, oh, just kill him, just kill him, just kill him. Never been put there. Okay? So we will see what's going to happen. I don't know how much more is going to come out. But I hope everyone has a great rest of your Friday. And you know what? You guys are absolutely amazing. Let's take a second look at some pictures of Athena. Not all of it.
Yeah.
And just how absolutely gorgeous this girl is. Okay. So I will see you probably in Discord real soon. And oh Lord, I really hope it's a death penalty. There, I said it. Love you.